A 25-foot-high viscous wave suddenly tore through these cobblestone streets, crushing vintage carts and shattering wood frame houses. This was a flood of molasses. On January 15, 1919, in the heart of Boston, a massive storage tank failed, releasing more than 2 million gallons of the thick syrup in a single instant. The disaster killed 21 people and injured 150 others. What began as a common industrial ingredient triggered a catastrophe that changed American engineering law forever. The source was a massive steel cylinder sitting right in the busy North End neighborhood. It stood 50 feet tall and stretched 90 feet wide, looming over the nearby tenements and horse-drawn traffic. This stockpile existed because molasses was a critical industrial resource. It was used in mass-scale food production and served as the base for manufacturing industrial alcohol. Residents had already noticed the tank was failing. They reported groaning noises coming from the metal and watched as thick syrup regularly leaked through the exterior seams. Despite these visible signs of structural fatigue, the operators kept the tank filled. Human oversight failed, while the pressure against the steel walls reached its breaking point. At 12:30 p.m., the structural failure reached its limit. The steel walls abruptly gave way. This wasn't a slow spill. In seconds, 2 million gallons of potential energy transformed into a high-speed kinetic force. The sheer density of the liquid created a localized tsunami. Moving at 35 miles per hour, the molasses hit the neighborhood with enough weight to snap railroad structures and sweep up everything in its path. Governed by heavy fluid dynamics, the syrup acted like a liquid wrecking ball. Within minutes, the afternoon was transformed into an inescapable disaster zone. These ruptured, twisted steel fragments show the power of that initial impact. The wave possessed enough force to buckle heavy railroad beams and flatten nearby buildings. Once the wave slowed, it became a trap. The thick, reflective layer of molasses fully coated the streets, immediately immobilizing victims and making it nearly impossible for responders to move. The weather then turned the situation lethal. The January temperature hovered around 40 degrees, and the cold air rapidly changed the physics of the liquid. As the molasses spread, it cooled and thickened. The liquid wave hardened into a dense, cement-like substance, sealing victims beneath debris and syrup. Rescue workers faced a flattened, debris-strewn landscape. Police and soldiers waded through the hardening muck, blindly searching for anyone trapped in the ruins. The final toll was devastating: 21 lives lost and 150 people injured. Cleanup crews spent several weeks scraping the neighborhood and the harbor to remove the sticky residue. The tragedy was driven by a catastrophic combination of dense fluid viscosity and the rapid cooling of the winter air. After the cleanup, a forensic investigation began to determine why a massive steel structure could fail so catastrophically. Investigators found the tank was poorly designed and never underwent hydrostatic testing. It was filled to capacity without proving it could hold the weight. The steel walls were simply too thin to withstand the immense pressure of 2 million gallons of industrial syrup. The resulting court battle ended with the company being held legally and financially responsible. It was a landmark ruling for corporate accountability. The case established that corporations are liable for the engineering risks they create. No longer could unforeseeable accidents be used to excuse negligent construction. This disaster directly triggered the modern system of building permits, mandatory engineering inspections, and rigorous structural testing used today. But the cost was 21 lives and a neighborhood in the North End that would never be the same. Industrial safety regulations are written in blood. The Great Molasses Flood remains a reminder that ignoring systemic warning signs eventually leads to a breaking point.